So, it's been over a year since Chef Dawn Ludwig has been on the show. So, fasten your seatbelt because we are going to learn how to eat always delicious. And we're going to start dancing. Get busy. Come on. Now they get to see you dance. Oh, is that how you dance?
Okay. I'm also a Zumba instructor, so.
Oh, are you? I didn't know that. Okay, then do some Zumba moves.
I know, like.
You know, I hear people dance with us in the morning. Okay, is this a Zumba? I interviewed a boxer not too long ago, and he was teaching me that I box like a little girl.
This is the place you can always
love it. Okay, right. Here we go.
The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, I'm going to speak to you in a little bit. But if you have been tuning in time and time again, thank you for joining us. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, I want to let you know that it is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal. It is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I'm telling you what, I hope that you, my listening friend and viewing friends, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, for those of you who aren't quite there with the I'm going to eat only plant-based, this recipe book is going to offer you multiple different ways to eat healthy and delicious. And so I want to share what we're going to be talking about today. Chef Dawn Ludwig hasn't been on the show for like over a year because she's been working on this book called Always Delicious. She is the author, well, actually, her husband, Dr. David Ludwig, is the author of Always Hungry with a question mark. And he works on helping you, if you're always hungry, how to kind of minimize your cravings, satisfy your body, your taste, your stomach, your mind, body, spirit, basically. And so when I was interviewing with Dr. David Ludwig, he kept saying, oh my God, you sound like my wife. Oh my God, you sound like my wife. And I said, well, tell me about your wife. And he said, well, she talks just like you. Okay. So she embraces all forms of lifestyle for when it comes to nutrition. She's learned about it. And she also embraces a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. So with that in mind, I had her on the show and it was love at first bite. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Chef Dawn Ludwig. She has devoted her career to helping people discover the fun, beauty, and delicious taste of natural foods. Chef Dawn's passion is guiding families to incorporate better foods into their everyday life. Chef Dawn is finally back because it took her a while to do this book, and she has done it again. She has come up with a new, well, the book is by Dr. David Ludwig, and she is at it again with all her beautiful recipes, and 175 to be exact, satisfying recipes to conquer craving. Now, who wants a free book? Be the fifth caller or texter, and you will be able to get this beautiful, beautiful book. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Chef Dawn Ludwig is back to do just that. Welcome, Chef Dawn. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well.
Very good. Very good. So share a little bit about what's been going on. For those of you who want to learn more about Chef Dawn, go to whenyouneedafriend.com. She's been a regular on the show in the past, but it's been a while because she was writing this book and totally get it. And so, so share a little bit about why you wrote created these recipes for this book.
Right. So when Always Hungry came out, it was a huge success. And we started a Facebook group and had many people get on, talk about transforming their lives. And it grew and grew and grew just organically. And people wanted more. And So as it grew and people were making transformations, they were loving the recipes. Always Hungry only had a little less than 80 recipes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, in all of my recipes, I give vegetarian versions, I give vegan versions, I give dairy-free versions, I give egg-free versions. I'm a chef who specializes in food allergies and helping people figure out how to make food work in their families. So I have all of that in Always Hungry, but it was enough to get people started. And they kept saying, more, 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 more. And so I got to work on Always Delicious. The other thing that people wanted was not just a recipe, but a meal plan. Because part of our idea is that if you eat the right quality foods in the right ratios, so carbohydrates from good quality carbohydrates, not refined carbohydrates, good beans, whole grains, whole fruit, those kind of things, and good quality proteins, good quality fats, that you get your biology working on your side. So people said, yeah, it's great when I have a recipe, but how do I put a meal together? So in Always Delicious, I did just that. I have almost 200 recipes, actually. They all still have vegetarian, dairy-free, egg-free options, vegan options. And those have all been tested. And they all have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 meal plans with it.
Yeah, I love that about it. You're just breaking us into this change of mentality, change of lifestyle. And for those of you who would like a copy of Always Delicious, you can be the 5th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. Let the phone ring begin, because it is time for us to find the right recipes that are going to help our bodies heal. And we're going to continue our conversation with Chef Dawn when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Yes, I want to talk about this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, because it's been like over a year since you've been on the show, but we're going to do it when we get on the air. Because as you know, we have the radio show. And then when we're on a break on the radio show, we continue our private conversation for all our YouTube viewers and everybody who would like to learn a little bit more about Chef Dawn and all the beautiful, delicious meals. Now, you've been a busy, busy lady. So how much has your private group grown, and how can people access your private group?
So our Facebook group is now over 14,000 people.
Wow. Can you send some people to me? Can you tell them to listen to become a subscriber? And
yes, I'll post this on the.
Awesome.
You know what I really love about this Facebook group is it is a group of love and support, and it's a very active group. We have about 50% engagement, which is
that's great. Great. That's great.
And people can post, "Hey, I'm struggling. What do I do?" And all different members come out and say, "Me too, I've been there." It's just fantastic. I've got about 25 moderators. We approve every single post. There's no spam. Every once in a while, someone will sneak in and somehow, but we are on top of it. And David and I interact with our readers there on a regular basis. We'll answer questions, give guidance.
That's wonderful.
And it's all free and non-commercial.
You know, I think I belong to your group. I'm not sure, but because of what you and I do, I mean, we're constantly out there. It's we have to measure our time.
Yes.
How did you create this engagement? Because it is so crucial to the survival of a group.
It is. Well, this Facebook group started because a few women contacted me when Always Hungry first came out, and they said, "We need more support. We want to put together a Facebook group.
Wow.
Will you give us your blessing for it?" And my answer was, not only will I give you my blessing, if you'll help moderate it, I'll get on there and work with you.
Wow. Okay. Really good. Really good. These women are wonderful. I think that because I know how difficult it is to do this, because we're trying to get our Heal Tribe going. So maybe they can help us get excitement. Our Heal Tribe is healthy eating and living.
Yeah,
so maybe we can join forces. Who knows? Let's figure something out. And
now we've got 25 moderators.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where our conversations are just as special. It's like two friends getting back together after a year of not seeing each other. We've got so much to catch up on. Chef Dawn Ludwig is the one who created all the recipes with the book, Always Hungry, with a question mark. And if you're always hungry, there are reasons. And Dr. David Ludwig is an endocrinologist, right? I'm trying to remember going back there. An endocrinologist who has created for people who have diabetes and all different other diseases. Metabolic issues, yes. A way to kind of stop the craving and stop the hunger. So with this, I learned about the different phases that you have, that Dr. David Ludwig was talking about on the show. And of course, you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com to listen to that show and learn a little bit more about Dr. David Ludwig, because after he was on the show, it was like, okay, Dawn, come on, keep coming back on. Because he's like, I'm sure, very busy, but and you are too. But it's just, people want to know about the food, because we want to know more about the food.
You have to make it practical.
Yes. And be the fifth caller or texter, 407-373-5959, and get the book called Always Hungry. Over 175 satisfying recipes to conquer cravings, retrain your fat cells, and keep the weight off permanently. Come on, permanently? There's nothing permanently. We have to keep working at it, right?
Well, this is the wonderful thing about this program. And we have, as we were talking about at the break, our Facebook group is over 14,000 people. It's a very engaged group, a lot of love and support there. And it's a unique place where, like yours, people can come and really say, hey, I'm struggling, or I need this, or what about that? And there people just respond. It's just amazing to have that support. So when they get on there and they start looking at, I can transform my life, and they realize that the food is actually delicious. Nothing comes out of my kitchen if it doesn't taste good. And I test my own recipes. I have a team of people around the world testing the recipes.
I want to be one of those tasters too. So
oh, you could.
I just want them to send it to me. Keep going.
And so they look at, are the ingredients accessible in different places? So everything's been tested, and I give a wide variety so everyone can find something they like. So then people start eating the food and go, wait a minute, this is not diet food. There's nothing deprived about this.
Correct.
I'm eating as much as I want. I'm healthy. I'm feeling great. And so once they get a feel for that, they change, because they never want to go back to feeling the way they did before. And now we've got people 2-3 years into the program. They've kept, I have a couple of people who have kept 100 pounds off for more than a year.
Wow.
That is so rare. I mean, I have 14,000 people. They've been doing this. They never want to go back. We have something called NSVs, non-scale victories. And the non-scale victories people notice are so far beyond what the scale even says. You know, the scale moves and that's great, but they're getting rid of health issues and aches and pains, getting off meds, getting off with their doctor's support as well. Yes. But amazing transformations that are happening. And so it's not hard. That's the thing about this. It's always delicious. And my job was to make it always easy. Well.
That's right. I like that better than not hard, because people just think of hard, always easy. But it's also, I want for those of you who are listening today to know that it is important that you follow your doctor's advice. If your doctor is unwilling to work with you nutritionally, then you need to find someone that is like-minded, and it doesn't need to cost a lot. You could also work with a doctor and also go to these websites. We have a website with the HEAL Tribe, Healthy Eating and Living Tribe, and we want to encourage you wherever you live. You don't have to live in the First Coast or the Space Coast. You can be a part of our Healthy Eating and Living Tribe. And I'm saying, there's also other groups that resonate with you. So let's talk about phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Yes. This is your do-it-yourself phases that we kind of gently dip our toe, where we realize that eating healthy can be and is delicious.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So David, as an endocrinologist and a Harvard professor, spent many years watching his clients, what works, watching metabolism, studying all of that. And he came up with a program that for 2 weeks, and a lot of people stay in phase 1 a little longer, depending on your metabolic issues.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 weeks, you give up all grains, all refined carbohydrates, all sugar. And in Always Hungry, there's a list of everything you keep and you throw away. You do a kitchen clean out. So in phase 1, you get your carbohydrates. This is not a low carb diet. It's 25% carbs, which is not a super low carb. We still use every macronutrient. So in phase 1, you get your carbs from beans, legumes, whole non-tropical fruit, vegetables, and non-starchy vegetables. So you're giving up potatoes, you're giving up even sweet potatoes for phase 1.
Yeah.
And so for 2 weeks, you're giving up alcohol for 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks. All sugar, all artificial sweeteners. People don't realize that artificial sweeteners trick our taste buds in our bodies to continue craving that sweet taste.
That's true. And they've done research as well that show that whether you have sugar or artificial sweeteners, the blood sugar spikes just as if you had the real thing. So it's just as harmful for you, and you eat more with the artificial sweeteners. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying go back to the sugars, but I'm saying that if for those of us that bought into the sugar-free stuff and we got bigger, it's because of that. It tricks our brain, and the side effects is that we'll eat more. So with phase 1, it's a 2-week phase, but some people stay there longer. What are some of the reasons people would stay there in phase 1 longer?
If they're doing really well, phase 2 adds back in things like starchy vegetables, winter squashes, sweet potatoes, whole grains like whole brown rice, quinoa, millet, steel cut oats, those kind of things are added back in. And if you look at the percentage of calories in phase 1, 50% of your calories come from fat. Now, we don't count calories. That's the beautiful thing about Always Delicious.
Yeah, you don't have to. People don't realize that. It's so hard to count a calorie. Go ahead.
And so in Always Delicious, I give you the meal plans so you don't have to plan all of the ratios and all of that. And we have on our website, drdavidludwig.com, there's a frequently asked questions is a great place to go and understand the phases. Mm-hmm. So in phase 2, people start introducing these other things back into their diet. That's replaced. It lowers the fat a little bit to about 40%, but you're still eating 40% fat. This is a luscious nut butters and nuts and full fat dairy if you eat dairy. Get the whole milk, get the full fat yogurt. And if you don't eat dairy, there are options in there where you can do it dairy free as well.
Yes.
So really reducing the fat a little bit, changing the makeup. Some people find they do great with one whole grain, but not as well with the other. The other piece that's really great on our Facebook group is helping people learn to listen to their bodies. Mm. So learning to listen to, does my body do great with one grain, but not the other? Do I do well with starchy vegetables? And then continuing to listen as your body changes.
Yes.
So phase 2 is pretty much where you live. Your body feels good. You continue to lose weight. They might go back to phase 1 if they need a reset, or if they find that they have trigger foods. That's another one. That's maybe nuts are your trigger food, or dark chocolate. I mean, we eat dark chocolate all the time, but maybe that's a trigger for you. Correct. Noticing where that is.
That is so important to listen to the body. That's why I had said originally, mind, body, spirit. If we just focus on the body and just focus on food, then we miss out on just the feeling of that, the feeling, which is where Always Hungry came in. Why are we always hungry?
Why do we feel this way all the time?
Why do we feel this way?
It's not your fault. Yeah. That's the other thing that I think people love about our group is that if you read Always Hungry and Always Delicious, it talks a lot about it's not your fault. You know, people who are overweight have been shamed and blamed. They've been called lazy. It's horrible. That would never happen with another medical condition. And one of the things that David talks about is that your biology is working against you. What you might even think, sometimes you might think is emotional eating, is literally your body that thinks it's starving. And when you turn that off, I've had so many people go, oh my gosh, I thought I was emotional eating, but that was only 70% of it. The rest of it was biology. Now I can actually deal with the other parts of it.
Yeah.
That are there.
Yeah. We've got to look at everything. A lot of people just don't want to look at the emotional aspect either. And so it's important that we kind of compartmentalize and look at it and use it as a whole. So let's talk about real quickly, phase 3, because I want to get to some of your recipes.
Yeah. So phase 3, you move, once your set point is there, you move to phase 3. That just gives you more flexibility. Again, you listen to your body. You can add in things like, if you go to a birthday party and you happen to eat a little cake, what I find is people are like, doesn't taste like it used to, or I felt like crap the next day. I never want to do that again. But some people were like, oh, I was fine. I did it. I didn't eat 18 cookies. I picked up one. And I like the Always Delicious cookies better. You know? So phase 3 gives flexibility for life. That is the phase that helps people not feel like they're ever going to be restricted. They can go and choose. And it's about, what I always say is it's about know, K-N-O-W, rather than no, N-O. And that's what phase 3 is about.
You know, it's mindfulness, mindful eating. So you have created lots of recipes. I remember the last time you're on the show, you gave away some of the recipes that were like top secrets that had not been on the in the book, and those were delicious as well. So when doing this book, what has been the number one recipe that you create and go, wow, that must have just been download from God?
Oh, there are so many of them. I love all the recipes in this book. I think the last time I was here, we talked about the coconut curry sauce. And this time, the sauces, right? I've done some really amazing sauces. I actually did a Moroccan sauce with a cauliflower couscous that is unbelievable. And it's one of my 5-minute sauces. If you remember from before, you take a ball canning jar, a mason jar, and you stick a lot of ingredients in it, and you stick a hand blender in it, and it's 5 minutes. You put it in your fridge, you've got your sauce. And then you come in and you get tofu, or you get chicken, or you get whatever protein you choose, shrimp, fish, and you put it in the pot with some vegetables. You pour the sauce over it, and then you've got this beautiful, you can even do it in a slow cooker. I have a lot of slow cooker recipes.
Very nice. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit more about all these wonderful recipes. For those of you who'd like a copy of this book, Always Delicious, be the 5th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. Keep calling if you really want this, 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, so Chef Dawn, there's a lot of components to your book. What are some of the other things that we need to, because I talked at the beginning, mind, body, spirit. This is so important that people not just focus on the food and what we're eating and the calories and the counting and all the measuring and all the, I can only have 10 grapes. I could never live like that.
I couldn't live like that.
Well,
I couldn't. And as a chef, I like to eat rich quality food. It's delicious.
Yes, yes. And so let's talk about some of the other components.
Great. So there are other components, because if your stress levels are high, David's an endocrinologist, so we're going to look at hormones. Your stress hormones go up. That's going to cause your fat cells to hold on to calories and store them, and make your body think it's starving and needs more, because they're just locked away. And so if you're doing some stress relieving techniques, and we have some in Always Hungry, I even did in Always Delicious, I did a whole do-it-yourself section.
Yes, I saw that. To be your own chef, right?
Right? Do it yourself. We do it yourself yogurt, do it yourself making beans from dried beans. I even did a do-it-yourself, inexpensive self-care.
Yes.
So I think there's an egg yolk mask, and there's a foot soak. There's a coffee scrub.
Did you create all these, or these were just like wonderful, wonderful?
I did. And so I'm really excited about the self-care, because taking care of yourself, reducing your stress is going to be important for getting your fat cells to start opening up, letting go of all those calories, and helping your body use your food more effectively. So stress relief is one.
Very good.
Number two, when you don't get good sleep, your stress hormones go up.
Yep.
And you hold on to weight. And so getting really good sleep. And how do you do that? There's a whole section in Always Hungry that talks about sleep rituals, getting a TV out of your room, having some sort of ritual. And Always Delicious has some, like the foot soak and the things that you can do to get your body ready to sleep. So that's number two. Number three is what we call joyful movement. Exercise is not for burning calories. Exercise is for increasing your metabolism, increasing your motivation, helping you feel good. You can count on me. I'll be right.
Nice to see you, Dale.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We're going to talk about the changes.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-375-9959.
About the changes.
Once again, here's Lillian.
Sure.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and it is our goal, it is my goal, that whoever is in front of you becomes your teacher. And I'm so grateful for all the teachers that we've had on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show that have helped us grow, to learn a new truth, embrace something new. Today's teacher has been Chef Dawn Ludwig. She's talking about her new book. Well, actually, her new recipes from the new book that she and her husband created, Dr. David Ludwig, MD. And it's called Always Delicious, Fifth Color or Texture, 407-373-5959. We'll get a free copy of this Always Delicious book. And so this is what the show is about. I'm excited that pretty soon joining us is going to be Del Billis of Liberty Health Share. And so this is all about taking 100% responsibility for the life we want to live. What are you willing to do to live this life? I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com, become a subscriber so that we can continue this growth that Chef Dawn talks about in her website. I want to create that as well at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is where we go. It's a safe place you can turn to when you need a friend. Not everybody has a good friend to turn to. And a place where you know that you're going to get answers that you can research and learn about yourself so that it can become your truth someday. If it doesn't make sense to you, move on. Find something that does, that will heal your body, mind, body, spirit. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com, become a subscriber. While you're there, check out all my social media and click on everything that, like me on my social media. Follow us on YouTube and podcast. And when you do that, the show goes straight to you. So if you can't listen to the show live, then you can listen to it at your leisure. And there's one thing that I want to encourage you to do as well, is go to my sponsorship page. Without my sponsors, like Liberty Health Share, this show would not happen. I have found like-minded groups that promote a healthy, responsible life as well. And I'm so proud that one of our sponsors is Liberty Health Share. And I want to encourage you to figure out how you can promote and support our sponsors the way they are supporting the show. And so we're going to talk about with Liberty Health Share with Del Billis in a little bit. We're going to continue our conversation with Chef Dawn. And if you want to find her book, you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com. There's Lily's Kitchen. Click on Lily's Kitchen and you can click on the book if you're not a winner today. So Chef Dawn, I know that there's so much that we've been talking about off the air, but there's never enough time. So let's talk about some of the sauces. You were talking about the sauces. What's the importance of the sauces when you're creating a meal?
Well, when I was translating David's science into practical reality, I've been a chef for 20 years, and that's what I do. I make it practical. I'm also a busy mom, and I want to get food on my table, so I understand busy. So my idea was, how do I get restaurant quality food, because I don't skimp when it comes to flavor. Restaurant quality food on my table, quick and easy.
Love that part.
Right? And the answer to that was my 5-minute sauces. And there are a lot of them in Always Hungry, even more in Always Delicious. We talked about earlier, mason jar, ingredients, immersion blender, one of those little hand blenders.
You were really, last year, you were really getting into that immersion blender.
Oh, I use it every day. I love that thing.
So
and then, even better, 5-minute sauces have no dishes. You put a lid on that thing, you rinse the end of your blender, you put it in your fridge, no dishes. And then you can use them. There are sauces that go on salad dressings. There are sauces that you cook, like the Moroccan sauce. There are all kinds of marinades, and you can just pour over some chicken or some tofu, stick it in your refrigerator overnight, take it out the next day before dinner and stick it in the oven, and it's done.
Yes.
And I even did some easy desserts that are really lovely too.
Well, let's talk about your cashews and your nut butters and all these wonderful foods that you've created for us with Always Delicious.
So I actually have a do-it-yourself section on DIY nut butters. Nut butters are so easy to make. You can do them yourself. They're less expensive. That's the other, quick, easy, delicious, and less expensive doing it yourself. I also use almond flour. I make these almond coconut macaroons. And our publisher published 5 recipes from the book.
Yes.
And if you go onto my website and my blog, you can find those 5 recipes. I think it's almond coconut macaroons, Moroccan chicken, the blueberry lime mint fizz. If you want something fun to drink, you can make it into a mocktail.
Yes.
What else did they?
Grain-free pumpkin spice muffins.
Those are great. And that quinoa enchilada casserole.
I'm making that today.
Oh, it's vegan. No, it's vegetarian.
Well, we can make it vegan. It's very simple to make
it vegan. Yes, it is one of my favorite recipes. My son says he'll eat anything with that enchilada sauce on it.
And you know what? I've been looking for a good enchilada sauce. I went to the store because I wanted to make something that was healthy. And Dr. Joel Furman, as you know, I have him. He's a regular on my show. And he had a recipe that I wanted to try on his 10 and 20 detox program. And it was an enchilada thing. And I wanted to do like a hack, I wanted to do something quick. And I went to the store, and one after another, sugar, salt, sodium. It was just, and I thought, forget it. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to check out your enchilada.
This enchilada sauce is one of my 5-minute sauces.
Yeah, I know. And I went online to look at enchilada sauces, and let me tell you, it was so complicated.
No, it doesn't have to be. And I'm from Texas, so enchilada sauce is something I'm very specific about. I want it to taste like good enchilada sauce.
Okay, you've convinced me.
This is it. It's so good.
Be the 5th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. The book is called Always Delicious. I don't know if you can still hang on, Dawn, and if you can hold on, because I want to bring on my wonderful, wonderful sponsor and just absolutely love him, Del Billis of Liberty Health Share. Del, thank you so much for coming on today. You're the founder and chief and all these wonderful things that you promote, health and wellness. And that's what I love about, not only that I love that you're a sponsor, but this is where I am a member as well. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Lillian. It's a pleasure to be with you. And I'm sitting here just after 8:30, just salivating with Dawn's descriptions of all these wonderful, healthy, supportive, life-infusing dishes and foods. That's spectacular. I love it.
And if we were to eat like this, can you imagine what our healthcare solution would look like, right?
So much better.
Well, Dawn said something earlier that I really want to pick up on.
Great.
She referred to self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care is the absolute fundamentals of the care of our health. And the costs associated with that health care is really what we participate and share in, so that our money every month participating with Liberty Health Share goes to another person, and we help pay their bill that month. And then should ever we have expenses, that same group is there to help pay ours. And it's fundamentally based on that principle of self-care, self-determination, being an individual who cares a great deal about the care of our health. We're health-focused, health-conscious. Now, that doesn't mean we're always healthy.
That's right.
It means we're on the pathway, but that we are aware of and focused on the care of our health. Now, the practical benefit of that, Lillian, is it reduces costs.
Correct.
But the most significant benefit is it fulfills our purpose as creatures of God with bodies that have been gifted to us, and we care for our physical bodies as stewards, and that's really what's behind that principle.
I love Liberty Health Share. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, and this is the first time that you're hearing about Liberty Health Share, a while ago I found myself without insurance, and I thought this is going to be the huge disaster. And I discovered there's a whole movement out there that where you can take your health back and your freedom back, and it's freedom of choice, and learning that if the government is going to control where you go, there's an option where you can choose. And what I loved about Liberty Health Share, and I continue to love, is that I can choose where I want to go. I focus on health. It's Affordable Care Act exempt, and it is truly affordable. Share a little about the changes that are happening. We've just got a minute left, Dale, but share a little bit about some of the changes that have occurred with Liberty Health Share.
Sure. One of the fundamental principles, and frankly, we are in the midst of a national contest of ideas about how do we take care of our healthcare costs. And there's a movement, and we'll see what transpires in terms of the national discussion about whether it is individually based or whether it's group based. It's the collective. It's government controlled, top down, paid for through single payer through government. We're here to say there's a great deal, not only just freedom and liberty, but gratification whenever we really take charge of the control of our care. And we, as a group, we share our medical costs every month on a mutual basis. Whatever those costs are, we simply distribute it among the members on a single couple family basis. And that share amount pays those bills from member to member. Whenever those amounts go up, we just simply increase the share amount. And that's what's transpired just recently.
Yes.
We've absorbed costs in the last 5 years and hadn't changed it, but now we have had to do a bit of a change.
And we're going to continue our conversation with Dale Billis of Liberty Health Share when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Perfect timing, Dale. I'm like, the clock is turning, the clock is...
Yeah, you did a really good job on that one, Dale. That was great.
It's like, and you put the final punctuation on that sentence. So, yes, I received the email from Liberty Health Share saying that
Right.
that there has been an increase in cost. And so because of it, things have changed. And I support the changes. I understand that some people are going to be upset because we've gotten used to. Liberty Health Share hasn't had an increase in what, 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And Dawn, if you only knew, the prices are so affordable. I reduced my costs. I went away from insurance, and I went from, it was going to cost us, just to be added to Robert's insurance, it was going to cost me an extra like $500, $450. And I went down by choosing Liberty Health Share. I went down to $200 a month. And so that was just phenomenal for me. And the non-shared amount, or what insurance people call deductible, was only $500. And after that, Liberty Health Share and all the partners, the members, would help share in the cost. Right, Del?
That's correct. Incredible. You've said it perfectly.
And that portion is also increased to $1,000.
$1,000. That's correct.
But that's still less than insurance.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Lillian, but before I became a chef, way back when I first got out of college, I worked in the insurance industry for 8 years. And so this is unbelievable. I mean, even 20 years ago, this is unprecedented. Mm-hmm. A really incredible job. Like, that's beautiful what you're doing there, Dale.
Well, thank you so much.
Cheryl, was that really difficult for Liberty Health Share and the board to make this decision?
It was. We grappled over, did as many cost-cutting measures as possible, and really worked hard at greater efficiencies, et cetera. Did not want to go to the members with an increase until we had exhausted every other avenue of reducing costs, and we're continuing to be very focused on cost containment measures. But yes, it was a bit of a agonizing decision.
I can understand. And by the way, you sound really good. I like the quality of your mic.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's got such a captivating voice.
Doesn't he?
Yes.
There's a little bit of his past that has a little radio in it, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And you're so charismatic. Every time Dale comes on, it just puts a smile on my face because I really love what Liberty Health Share represents. And Dr. Ludwig should learn more and embrace this because doctors get paid more than what Medicare pays them, right?
Yeah. Well,
so our reimbursements are based on Medicare, but it's a percentage above. And so it is, 120, 30, 40% above what Medicare reimburses. And we've just found that to be fair and reasonable and fully acceptable by the healthcare community. And it's worked incredibly well.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Another. The last segment. We're going to do some
You
Zumba
can
this
text
morning.
Lillian McDermott.
That's right.
At 407.
Part of our calisthenics.
5959.
That's right.
Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show where I am loving all the calls. Always delicious. Fifth caller or texter, 407-373-5959. We're joined by both Chef Dawn Ludwig and we have the chairman and founder of Liberty Health Share, Dale Billis. For those of you who want to learn more about Liberty Health Share, go to libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. You hear the commercials. I am a member of Liberty Health Share, and I'm grateful that they are also a sponsor of my show. For those of you who want to call right away, because I was a little skeptical at first, but let me tell you, after 2 years being with Liberty Health Share, I am a true blue believer that this is the way, the direction that we should go in as far as all of us make these choices. But it's a personal decision. You can call 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-58-LIBERTY or 855-585-4237. Dale Billis, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing the good news about how we can use our freedom towards our health by choosing a health share option as opposed to insurance.
Well, it's an honor to be here, Lillian. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do so. And it just really goes to emphasize the fact that we have choices and options in America, thankfully, and we can exercise that freedom and engage in our own individual healthcare reform today. We don't need another act of Congress. We don't need something for the president to do. We can engage with healthcare sharing, Liberty Health Share, and it really accomplishes two things. Number one, you and I and almost 100,000 other households have dropped out of the health insurance model. Mm-hmm. And instead rely on each other in a community of care and support to pay each other's medical bills. That's number one. But number two is it really frees us to be able to pay attention to the care of our health. Yes. Because that's what's fundamentally most valuable and important. It's not about somebody else paying the bill. It's about you and I taking personal responsibility and engaging in a health-conscious lifestyle that produces quality of life and experience that we all long for. And that's what we're motivating our members to do.
Yes, and you do this with $1 million per incident. I mean, it's not like, when I first learned about, health share programs and Liberty Health Share, I'm thinking, this is too good to be true. How is it so? How is this too good to be true? And it's not too good to be true. It is what it is. So
it's the law of large numbers at work. We just simply take the costs that occur every month and divide it evenly among all 100,000 households. And we pay in our mutual share. That's what we call it, a share amount. And my money goes to help pay another person's medical bills. Now, let me pause for just a moment,
Yes.
Lillian, and say that's among the top 2 reasons our members tell us that this is so rewarding and satisfying, because their money is going to another person. It's not dropping into a company black hole somewhere. Through our online technology, my monthly share amount is matched to another person who has medical bills. And I can message them with cheer or encouragement or prayer, whatever the case may be. And we stand with each other as a true community, sometimes through the biggest crises of our lives. And using that technology and methodology, we're sharing about $25 million of medical bills every month. And so we're able to absorb those costs because certainly for the size of our group.
Well, the group that has become members at Liberty Health Share, we are also committed to personal responsibility. We're committed to being healthy. We're committed to just changing our life and exercising our freedom to be healthy, and not just think that the government's going to pay for my choices, whatever it is, and I'm limited to that. So let's talk about, how you make this a community, because I remember when we went through our hurricane just last year, hurricane season, I received a call from Liberty Health Share going, hey, we're just calling to see if you're okay. And we also want to make sure that you are going to the doctor and that you are getting checked, because I hadn't gone to the doctor. And I'm like, who are you again? What is this all about? My insurance couldn't care less prior to that. So you really, truly care from the top down or from the bottom up. How do you guys create that?
Well, it's because we realize that because it's member to member cost sharing, it's what the members do. That's the energy, that's the engine that drives this community of sharing healthcare costs. And so we just simply help facilitate that from an administrative standpoint. And so our focus is on the individual members and what they do to accomplish and exercise their healthcare freedom. And because of that, frankly, Lillian, we are changing the way healthcare is accessed and paid for, and we're changing it for good, thankfully.
I love it. I love it. So just recently, we were talking about this before the break and during the break. Liberty Health Share has made some changes. And in the last 5 years, there have been no increases with Liberty Health Share. And I'm sure this was, like you said, it was a very difficult decision, the high cost of healthcare. And so what are some of the ways that you have kept the cost down, and the increase, if you can share a little bit about the increase and where it came from?
Sure. Over the last 5 years, as a country, as a nation, we've experienced a 5% per year healthcare inflation. So the actual cost of medical care has increased at 5%. When you calculate that out over a 5-year period, it's a rather substantial increase in expenses and costs. We're subject to it along with every other consumer in America. We've absorbed those expenses. And so we've worked hard in a variety of ways. Number one is we have a couple of key vendors that help us contain costs, negotiating those medical bills down, making sure that we're sharing the actual costs of healthcare and not excessive billing or unnecessary care. Another vendor that deals with really focusing on what we call our health track program, Lillian, where folks who join us with chronic conditions, and frankly, we have a nationwide epidemic of high blood pressure and heart disease and type 2 diabetes, certainly obesity, smoking, cholesterol. We assign them a health coach and help them work toward a health and wellness goal and objective, personalized, customized for them. Once they reach those goals, they drop out of Health Track. It costs an additional $80 for that health coach.
It's still $80?
$80 additional for Health Track, but we're changing people's lives as a result. So maintaining and focusing on healthy living and healthy lifestyle and reducing the actual costs of healthcare.
You know, I want to go back to something you said. You talked about excessive billing. I just recently was being billed $125 for blood work, and it went towards my non-shared amount. And when they were trying to get it was $125. They were trying to get it was 160 and it was 125 they were trying to get out of me. And so when I called Liberty HealthShare, they said, no, we paid already for that bill. We paid $40. That's the only thing that you owe. It went towards your non-shared amount. You only owe them $40. And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, you're billing me $125. You're balance billing me. And so they said, oh, well, we'll send you a new bill. Can you imagine that? They were balance billing me, and I called Liberty HealthShare, and you guys saved me some money. I'm so grateful to Liberty HealthShare. Dale, I can't say enough. I want to encourage you to go to libertyhealthshare.org. My viewing friends, that's libertyhealthshare.org. You can go to 855-58-LIBERTY, 855-585-4237. I am beyond grateful, Dale, every time that you come on and share the good news and how we can take our freedom back to choose what our health care should be.
It's my honor, Lillian. Thank you so much for the invitation. God bless.
Thank you. And Chef Dawn Ludwig, I am so excited to see you again, and be the fifth caller or texter, 407-373-5959, fifth caller or texter, and win a free copy. Thank you so much for these beautiful recipes. Next time, let's talk just about the food.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And to you, my listening friend, it's time. Let's take our health back. It's the food and it's the freedom of choice. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Yay. We made it with 1 second to spare. I hope we made it through there. Thank you so much, Dale. I'm so thrilled. I mean, when I heard that there was going to be an increase with Liberty HealthShare, I'm like, but it was very reasonable. It was, and I'm so grateful that you guys took that into consideration, that this was the first time in 5 years we've gotten used to being, having these low costs, and everything is going up. And so we're glad that you kept it as low as you possibly can. And you did the responsible thing by cutting costs internally with Liberty HealthShare before you came to us.
Precisely.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that encouragement, Lillian. God bless.
God bless you too. And Chef Dawn, is there anything that you would like to add to maybe a recipe or so that you would like? Because, I want to talk about that enchilada. I was really, really seriously, because is that a video that you have as well? Or is that just to share?
I've been doing a lot of videos lately.
Have you?
Yes. I've been doing some Facebook Live stuff and some videos. I did a waffle tutorial. Have you tried the waffles from Always Hungry?
I have not, because, I've stayed away from a lot of the process. If I have
it's chickpea flour.
I know.
One.
I do.
Beans.
So I don't have a waffle maker.
Make them into pancakes.
Oh.
You don't have to have a waffle maker. And it doesn't taste like beans. It's so unbelievable. That is probably my kind of opus recipe.
So which one is that one?
It's the waffle recipe from Always Hungry.
Oh, Always Hungry. Yeah, I think I made that. I did make that a while ago. When I first started, when we first met, I did make that. And I fed it to our grandchildren. They loved it.
It's so good.
Just remembered.
Yes, it's so good. So I did a waffle tutorial because some of my our Facebook group, it's the official Always Hungry Facebook group.
Yes. Okay. So the
official Always Hungry Facebook group. And if you go to my website, you can link to the Facebook group from there.
And the website is drdavidludwig.com, or is it the alwayshungrybook.com?
Either one, drdavidludwig.com or alwayshungrybook.com.
Okay.
And you can link to the Facebook group. But several people were saying, what about the waffles? How do I make them? They didn't, I thought it was pretty easy, but they're like, could you show us? And so I started doing videos, and I have waffle tutorials. I have for your crowd. I even did a sea vegetable one where I took dulse, so much nutrition in a piece of dulse. And I fried it in a little oil and made crispy chips out of it. It is the most delicious snack.
Can you take dulse and bake it instead of oil? Because you know me, I don't do the oils.
I know.
I do the whole food oils. I do the
nuts and avocado and
yeah, I do the
stuff.
whole. I don't do the extraction. I don't do the oils.
Yeah.
But would I be able to bake it? I'm going to challenge you.
You need the oil on it to make it crispy. Otherwise, I mean, it gets crispy, but it's not as satisfying. A lot of those.
What about dehydrator?
No, a lot of the nutrients are oil soluble nutrients, so you need some of the oil in order to absorb.
Well, how much oil is in that recipe?
Not much. You just put a little bit, like you brush it on the bottom of the skillet.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You're not
That's
deep frying it. You brush it on the bottom of the skillet, and you have just enough to make it crispy.
Okay, so it's less than what, a teaspoon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's a video on it on my website.
Okay, I'll check it out.
See, it's the best sea vegetable you can eat. So good, high in iron, really packed nutrition. Really good stuff. But I've been doing a lot of videos and I want to do more.
Okay. Well, you can come and join us anytime.
Yeah.
You come to Florida, right? So we need to get together and do it together.
Outside of Tampa.
Yeah, we need to get together and do a video together because I just recently, people ask me about my recipes because, it's interesting when you start eating in the kitchen. I mean, when you start getting creative in the kitchen, it's amazing how the taste, and you eat this and then you modify it and you add that. And then all of a sudden you start cooking, stops being cooking. It becomes a preparation for a feast or a celebration that is to live for. And this is something I've never heard anybody else use this expression for food is people talk about to die for. This is to die for. It is to die for. It is to die for. I want it to be to live for. Yes. And so that is food to live for. And that's my meme, and I've created that expression because, I think it's so important that we understand what we're saying to ourselves. Why do we love somebody and then give them food to die for?
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's to live for.
And you can have food to live for. It's delicious. You can have food that's delicious. And like I said, there's a lot of variety in what I do so that everybody can find something that they like.
Yeah.
I did a lot of really cool ethnic dishes too. I did a Thai coconut soup that is, the Thai, the coconut curry that was in Always Hungry.
Yes.
This Thai coconut soup in Always Delicious is to live for.
I got you saying that now.
It really is.
All I want is 20% of the credit. Okay. So, what page is it on?
It's on the soups. It's the soups section. And if you look up at the top, it'll say soups in the top right corner. I think it's the first recipe in the soup section.
Let me go to
so easy. I have so quick to make.
Okay. So soup.
It's got coconut milk.
237 for those of you who will get this one. Now,
and we're giving away
what is your opinion of the coke? Because I love the unsweetened coconut milk from a can.
Yes, that's what I use.
Okay, but there's also the coconut milk that you get in the.
No, it's not. No.
There's a different consistency.
Well, yeah, that's just watered down coconut water and a little bit of It's not. That's not the greatest. Okay. But the coconut milk from the can, that's what you want to use. And you want to use the full fat. Don't get the low fat version.
Oh, who does that?
It's awful.
I know it is. It's just no different than going to get the milk that's... Okay, did I say 237? Okay, let me see. 237.
I think it's the first recipe in the soups, Chef. I even do some fun... I did a lot of slow cooker stuff. And so you put it in the morning... You come back home after work and your house smells amazing and you have dinner.
Yes, it is there. Okay. This Thai, I love Thai food. So cooking with Thai. Okay. And I've been growing some basil.
Ooh, yum.
Organic basil in my little garden. I have a little garden. We moved to a condo and we just on the water and of course I don't have a backyard anymore. So I have a little upright, little garden. And you know what I did? I bought some basil that's organic, non-GMO organic basil, and I cut it so that I could have the stem. And I put the stem in water, and the stem gave me some roots. And so now I have the most beautiful basil, organic soil, and it is just flourishing in the environment. So I am going to use my...
Well, one of the recipes, one of the 5-minute sauces in Always Delicious is a basil walnut pesto. So you get the really qualities of the good walnuts. It's less expensive. And I mix half basil, half parsley.
Ooh.
So that you get the full flavor of basil, but it's not so expensive. You don't have to use so much basil.
Wow.
That's in the sauces section, basil walnut pesto. And then I do a lime cilantro pesto if you want a good like detox, because cilantro is so great. Lime cilantro pesto.
And you can just add that to, okay, so,
anything.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, remember how afraid I was of tempeh?
Yes.
I got tempeh.
Yay! Did you make the shepherd pie?
Not yet, because I just started doing the tempeh, and I got this tempeh that is just made, it's organic, it's made from non-GMO products, and it just having the tempeh by itself without putting any seasoning on it, it tastes like beef, like prime rib or something. I don't know what they put in there, but it's really good.
Yes, I've got some great tempeh recipes in Always Delicious. There's a you don't fry, but there's a baked one where you bake it into crumbles and you use it as a ground meat substitute.
Ooh, okay. Well, the book is wonderful. I'm looking at all these beautiful pictures in the middle of the book. You did a great job. I love how, did you take all the pictures or did somebody else take?
I made all of the food and I had a professional photographer in my house for a couple of days. I think we made like 30 recipes.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
So the book is called, and I'm marking my Thai soup. I've got enchiladas and Thai soup that I'm going to make this week. And the book is called Always Delicious. And Chef Dawn Ludwig is always wonderful. Thank you so much to see you. And I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
Absolutely. It was good talking to you, Lillian.
Take care. And I'm looking forward to our next conversation with my viewing friends as well.